I do want to say who inspired me on YouTube. There were a couple YouTube vloggers that got me interested in doing this. They are two pretty much average schmoes. Oops. That just, you know, I feel like, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. I mean, okay, they got more money than I do, but I got a wife and kids, so who doesn't have more money than I do, right? So, but they're the two guys are I've never met them before. Maybe one day I will. One of them is Street Speed 717 and Guitarmageddon ZL1. They're both extreme car guys, and their vlogs pretty much just are all about them modding up their own cars and going to the track and you know, just having a good time with their own cars and living life the way they want to live. And it's pretty cool, pretty inspiring to watch. And they just videotape everything that they do. So, you know, they record their stuff and then they present it for the world to see if the world chooses to. And I just stumbled upon them one day when I was looking around on YouTube, looking for something to do, and you know, and I figured, hey, I might as well try doing that. I drive a truck. You know, some people, it seems like people that don't drive a truck are interested in it in a way, to an extent, until they're flipping you off because they think you took too long to pass another truck, or you know, something like that. But it seems like a lot of times when you talk to people about truck driving, they're interested in it because it's one of those things where it's a job that you get paid to travel. I mean, that's the romantic way to look at it. But it's a job just like any other job, which some people just don't understand. They think that, you know, it's an amazing thing, but I'm telling you, it's stressful. It's a very stressful job. Keeps you away from family. I love it. I love the job. I don't love everything that it entails, but I make really good money doing it. I'm able to support my family. That's the most important thing. I'm able to, you know, for the most part, enjoy life when I am home. You know, like I mentioned in another clip, that my wife and I are going on a cruise in March. We usually take a cruise, sometimes a couple cruises a year, usually just one. But we're going on a cruise in March. It's my wife calls it the baby moon because well, she's pregnant, and her mother is going to watch Tinley, our 2-year-old, while we go on this cruise. That way it gives us one more trip where just the two of us can spend some time together and enjoy our company. If you see me jumping around here, it's because they're loading my truck. So there's a 8,000-pound forklift with a 2,000-pound skid being rammed into my truck or my trailer every couple of minutes. But anyway, we're going on that cruise, and it'll be a great time. We're going to Aruba and a couple other islands. I only remember the highlight island. I can never remember the other. I think there's 3 other islands we're going to, but they're going to be fun. Unfortunately, the wife can't drink, so that pretty much falls over into my territory as well. I'm not going to be drinking either. You know, as support, I guess, or I guess she's making it. One or the other. So, it'll be a good trip, though. You know, seems like alcohol on cruise lines are overpriced anyway. And they don't put enough alcohol in their drinks. You get a mixed drink and you can barely taste the damn alcohol, but you pay $2 or $3 extra for the same drink just to have alcohol in it. But, you know, so you can just get a virgin drink, you know, basically a glorified smoothie, you know, spend $6 on that instead of 8 or 9 on something just because they put tequila in it, which I don't even like tequila that much. It's just in some good drinks. So that'll be, I'm looking forward to it. You know, it'll be, like I said, bittersweet, as they say. But anyway, I just wanted to make this clip here so I could go ahead and, you know, give the two gentlemen that have inspired me to create my own vlog some credit. And, you know, who knows, maybe one day I'll meet him, I don't know. I know Guitarmageddon ZL1, otherwise known as Nick, he has a Jeep YJ, a 1988 YJ that he turned into a badass zombie vehicle, modeled after, well, inspired from the Walking Dead movie, or series. And of course, I'm a YJ guy. I've had a bunch of YJs, and currently have my 95 YJ that's military themed, whatever, that I'm not quite done with. You know, over time, I want to do stuff, you know, finish doing stuff to it, maybe add an axe to it, a shovel to it, make it even more, even though it's a YJ and compared to a CJ2A, which is what they, you know, back in the 40s had, it's not anywhere near the same as something like that. It's still a very primitive vehicle by today's standards. It didn't even come from the factory with air conditioning or cruise control. That was all aftermarket stuff on those YJs. In fact, I've never even seen one aftermarket with cruise control. But the air conditioning was a dealer added option, not factory. You know, so it's a very primitive vehicle. I love it. My wife despises it. She hates it. She does not like to ride in it. But every now and again, she'll humor me and go for a ride in it somewhere short. We took it one time all the way up to Puddin Bay, which is up on Lake Erie in Ohio. And that was about a 500-mile round trip, I think. And it was dead middle of summer. It was 90 degrees. No air conditioning. And she still is pissed off at me to this day over that. For convincing her to take a ride in the Jeep that far. So that probably won't happen again, but we got two other very comfortable cars, and one of them is mine. My 2006 Ford Expedition Limited, which I just sold I do a lot of things that annoys my wife. I'll come clean. What man doesn't? But I traded a 2014 Kia Forte, fully loaded with a 10-year warranty, mind you, for a 2006 Ford Expedition Limited with 100,000 miles when I bought it, now 102,000. But I love it. It's way better than that Kia, except for the day after I bought it, the check engine light may or may not have come on. My wife loved that. I got that all fixed up though, changed all the spark plugs. It had like 4 misfires. And apparently, I'm guessing that the driver, the owner before it, I swear to God, it never presented any of this stuff when I test drove it. It drove fine. I didn't feel the misfire, the check engine light wasn't on, nothing. But there's no way the misfires all of a sudden, you know, found themselves in my engine bay. So I'm sure that the owner before me sold it, because sometimes misfires feel like a bad transmission. They shudder and stutter, and you know, if you don't know anything, if you don't know any better, you think a transmission was going out on you. But it's just ignition issue, electrical. You know, up around the spark, so the spark plugs. That can usually mean one of two things: spark plugs or coil packs. Could mean a lot worse, but usually just means those two things. So I replaced all the spark plugs, like after I found out that several misfires were occurring in several different cylinders. I replaced those, but because they had been misfiring since who knows how long before I owned it, because people are idiots and they don't know how to maintain their own vehicles, well, a bad misfire can ruin your catalytic converter. Catalytic converters aren't cheap, people. They're expensive. I was lucky and I got a aftermarket one for about 250 bucks, installed and everything at a local shop in my hometown that I have taken many cars to, because they're dirt cheap, but man, they do a decent job. And they'll do whatever you ask them to. I mean, anything. You can tell them to do whatever the hell you want to your exhaust system. No questions asked, they'll do it. So I took it there, and they, threw a new cat on. Check engine light's not coming on anymore. It doesn't misfire anymore after replacing the spark plugs. Which, by the way, Ford, fuck you and your spark plug design. That's all I got to say about you and your spark plug design. And I'll probably be saying the same thing whenever I have to replace the headers, well, not headers, but the manifold, because, well, you guys are idiots. You designed a horrible engine. It runs great, all except for the spark plugs and, you know, the design of it. It sucks. It took me 9 hours to replace spark plugs. So, yeah, but it runs great now. My wife is in Florida with it. It drove all the way to Florida, got her there, safe and sound. And we get to drive it right back there at the end of March. So again, Guitarmageddon ZL1 and Street Speed 717, which he, by the way, has a badass Duramax Dodge. Ooh boy, if he knew me, knew where I lived, he'd probably kill me for that. Badass Duramax, which is a Chevy GM product that they use. Anyways, a diesel truck, very nice, amazing wrap job on that truck. And then he's also got a, this is what really makes me jealous, 2000, I think it's a 16, Corvette Z06. So, you know, damn nice car. He's got a lot of modifications done to that car. They come from a factory with 650 horsepower. Usually when an auto manufacturer gives you a horsepower spec, it's rated at the crank, not at the wheels. You know, wheel horsepower is probably below 6. Well, now he's got wheel horsepower at around 700. So, you know, probably about 800 and, I don't know, 840, 850 at the crank. So it's a beast of a Corvette. But anyway, we'll see y'all later. I'm going to get back off here and wait to get loaded.